Coming to you live from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, and all across the world, psychic, medium, and energetic healer Sheena Metal brings you Messages from Spirit.
Hi, and welcome to Messages from Spirit, only on PARAPOD TV. If you want more info on the show, you can visit my website, SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. I'm your host, Sheena Metal. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can send me a text message, 818-437-0886. So here's what happens on the show. I'm a real psychic medium, an energetic healer, and I talk to real folks on the show every day, every week, just like you. And they ask real questions, and I work to get real messages from Spirit. And then we have a real conversation and hopefully get them the real answers and the real healing that they seek. It really is that simple. And like I said, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, we'd love to have you. 818-437-0886. That's 818-437-0886. It's my actual cell number. Nobody will read it but me. And I will make sure to get you booked on a future show. We're here every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time, only on PARAPOD TV. And so excited to be a part of the PARAPOD TV family. Every week on the show, I like to talk about a little something before we get rolling with questions, a little bit of spiritual insight that I get from Spirit that week to share with you. And here's what we're talking about this week. We've talked on previous shows about words being weapons and thoughts being things. And I have a friend that always says, thoughts are things, thoughts are things. And boy, is she right. And words are weapons is kind of what Spirit has given me to add to that. And it's true. And I say this because, look, when you're upset about something, and we in our lives, we get upset about things. Life is hard, right? And people are harder. Human beings are difficult. It's very easy to get disillusioned with life and with humanity. We all have our skirmishes with folks. And it's normal when you're upset about something and you're not feeling great about the way you've been treated by somebody to go to other people and to go to other platforms and speak your mind, right? And we see that all the time. Now we see it exemplified to the nth power because of social media, right? I don't like this. I don't like that. I'm upset about this. I'm upset about that. We see it all the time. Here's the problem. Thoughts are things and words are weapons. Thoughts are things, they're internalized inside of you. So when you're thinking about a thought being a thing, you're just thinking about how it's affecting you. How is your emotional and physical and spiritual outcome different because you are harboring this thought that has become a thing? But when you talk about words being weapons, you've now taken that thing outside of you and it's now in the world. And the problem is, once you launch something into the world, you can't take it back. You know, people say, oh, I'm sorry I wrote that song. I'm sorry I did that movie. I'm sorry I wrote that book. I'm sorry I said that thing. Once it's out in the world, then it lives on its own and it becomes something, unlike the thought, that you can no longer control. It's now something that the world will take it and move with it, and it becomes something that has a life of its own. If you have a rock and you keep it in your hand, it belongs to you. You can contain it inside of your hand. But once you throw it into the ocean to skip, then it belongs to the ocean, and you're probably never going to see it again. This is the problem with words. So even though the immediate reaction when we're upset about something is to scream it from the mountaintops, tell whoever we can, this person did this person did that. And that's fine. Except that you have to realize that then that skips, that word, that weapon, that sentence skips from person to person and situation to situation. And as it goes to each new person, it gets changed a little bit because they put their own perspective and their own bent and their own feelings on it. And then it moves to the next person and it happens again. And sometimes you find you can't repair the damage. that you have done with those words. That's why we need to be so careful when we transfer something from a thought that lives in here to a word that lives in the world. You got to be careful, because then at some point, if you realize you want to take that all back, it's going to be hard, because people have already heard it, and people haven't already heard it, but they've not only just heard it, they've formed their own opinions on it. They've put their own energy on it. They've put their own signature on it. They've, in a way, made it their own. And then they've passed it on to someone else. Hey, did you hear what happened to so-and-so with so-and-so? Well, you know what? That happened to me once. And let me tell you what that's like. Then it goes to the next person and it starts again. So we have to be careful what we say to others and how we do it. When you're angry at somebody, maybe leaving the nasty voicemail is not a good idea until you've taken a few days, a week to think about it. Because even if people will say to me, my clients will say to me, but I called right afterwards and I walked it back. Okay. But it was already heard. Do you know what I mean? Once it's out there in the world. It's left the containment of your brain and it now belongs to the world. And there's not a lot you can do about it once it's out there. So we have to be really careful. And even with intentions, when we say things to spirit, like, I don't want that person to ever contact me. So the spirit's like, okay. And then that's the last you'll hear from that person. And even though the next day you may wake up and want to walk it back, spirit might be like, we don't understand. You told us no. So we provided you with no. You have to be careful of what you think and what you say and what you wish for. Like grandma used to say, be careful what you wish for. You have to be careful what you wish for. All right, just a couple little thoughts for you. And now we're going to do a message from spirit. Again, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, send me a text message, 818-437-0886. That's 818-437-0886. And I'm excited. Let's do a message from spirit. Look how I rub my hands together like a hungry raccoon. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Who are you? Where are you coming from?
Hi, Sheena. My name is Deanne. I like to go by Dee, and I'm from Whitewater, Wisconsin.
Beautiful.
That was a great message. Thank you very much. And my question is, I feel like something is blocking me from receiving my own messages from my spirit guides. And I'm wondering if you can help me find out what it is and what I can do to change and get better.
Yeah, it's a couple things. I'm going to let you go because there's a horrible feedback for you. Stay in the backstage. It's a couple of things. It's and I wish I could have kept her on during this, but we were having an audio problem. First of all, Dee, there's almost a feeling like you believe that you're not worthy to receive the messages. There needs to be a big boost in you. And boy, I wish you were with me right now. Is Dee still there? Can we bring her back? There needs to be within you. I brought you back.
Yeah.
You need to have more faith in you, right? Because you almost believe like you're not worthy of the messages from your own guide.
It's amazing. I mean, I know that's deep, but I didn't realize that's part of what's blocking me.
Yeah. Sometimes we inadvertently block ourselves.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. The other thing that your want for the message. It's like you want it so bad. You've created a barrier around you that's blocking it.
Okay.
So you need to just open up and say whatever's going to come. Sound good?
Yes.
All right. I'm
Thank
sending you so much love.
Love you.
I love you, sweet.
Thank you.
Dee needs the love today. Yeah. And I would have kept you longer, Dee, if we hadn't been having the audio problem. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Yeah, there is sometimes when we want something so bad, we don't realize that we're blocking it. So imagine if you wanted a hug so bad that you wandered around like so much time, but you're actually stopping anybody from hugging you because you've put a barrier around you. We inadvertently all the time put barriers around us for things that we fear. And also sometimes for things that we want. It's like women that, I was just this analogy, but they want to get pregnant so badly and they don't get pregnant. It's all they think about. And then one day they're like, screw it, I'm never going to get pregnant. And a week later they're pregnant. Sometimes when we focus so hard on something, we put such an energy around us that we make it impossible for things to come in and touch us and move us. All right, Dee, so think about that. I'm sending you so much love. Your guides have so many messages for you, Dee. They just don't want you to block them. Okay? All right, huge love. Let's do another message from Spirit. Hi.
Hi, I'm Lori, and I'm from Bryan, Texas.
Beautiful. Nice to hear from you, sweetheart. What may I do for you today?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for what you've done for, in particular, two of my children. But more importantly, my question is, what is it that I can do to be a better mother? I feel like they're in a funk, and there's something that I'm just not doing to help them. They're struggling, and I want to do whatever I can to help. I feel like whatever blockages I have are kind of passing for whatever reason.
Yeah. I feel like, first of all, when things are wrong with a child, it's not always a parent's fault. Sometimes you are given challenging children in this life for your growth and for theirs. They have to live a life as a person with challenges. So Spirit gives them to somebody who is safe to take care of them and see them through those challenges. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know when you've got kids that have mental health issues,
Yes.
and that are having trouble finding themselves, it's very easy to blame yourself and think it's something that you did.
Okay.
But that's not always necessarily the case, sweetheart. Sometimes, like I said, Spirit gave them to you because you were strong enough and also you were empathetic enough to love them through the differences. But I feel like both of them are really struggling right now.
Yes. Very, very badly.
One in particular, there's a very strong oppositional defiance. Does that make sense? Like just whatever you say I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the opposite. I'm
Yeah.
running off. You come and find me. Go away. Come here, go away. Come here, go away. I mean, I'm really feeling that energy.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a cry for help and for understanding. And I think there's also especially for one of your children, a female child.
Yes.
There's almost a feeling of being oppressed by the area in which she lives. Like she feels like she has to be a certain person and act a certain way and toe the line and be this kind of person, and she just doesn't want to. She feels like freedom is being taken away from her. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yeah.
She would do better in a larger, like a bigger city where
Okay.
she didn't feel as much like she was being watched by the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it makes it hard though, because they've put themselves in pretty hard positions, other than, with authority figures other than myself. So It makes those moves pretty difficult to just say, okay, we can do this.
Yeah. And they have to learn that.
Yeah.
That's not something you can repeatedly do, that there are consequences, and that you are allowed to grow and find out who you are and have the freedom, but within the confines of not doing things that are breaking the law.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just finding a way to feel free without feeling like the rebellion has to come with some kind of destructiveness.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's the talk I would have with them is, hey, I understand you feel like you're in a tiny box here and you're clawing to get out.
Mhm.
You know that, movies about, like, 100 years ago, how they'd put people in solitary confinement and they were like literally in a box.
Yeah.
That's how they feel, like they're stuck in a hot box they can't get out of.
Okay.
And, they just need to be shown that they're not being imprisoned, that they do have the freedom when they become older. They can go anywhere they want in the world and live anywhere they want and do anything they want. But while they're with you where they are, they need to find a way to be free without destroying their world or yours.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Yeah.
a conversation that needs to come not out of anger, but just out of, look, here's the thing. Do you know what I mean? Look, when I was a kid, I went through a phase, people are going to die of the shock, but I went through a phase where I was a rebel and I did not get good grades and I didn't want to go to school. And we moved out here when I was 13 and my mom sat me down. She's like, look, here's the thing. Being somebody who toes the line, it's not fun. Nobody wants to brush their teeth. Nobody wants to do their homework. Nobody wants to have to do things they don't want to do.
Yeah.
But if you do it and you get the decent grades, then you can go to any school you want. You can do anything you want with your life. And I was like, oh, all right. But once I started doing it, I liked doing it. And now I don't even remember what I was rebelling against back then. Except that I think I thought I was being forced to be things I didn't want to be. So I think it needs to be emphasized to them that you are supporting them in all the freedom to be whoever they want to be, but that you can be really free and have a really exciting life. And it doesn't have to have negativity and it doesn't have to be destructive.
Okay. Great.
Freedom is not necessarily smashing things.
Yeah.
It can also just be having exciting experiences and living an exciting life. Am I right that you're in kind of a little bit of a smaller area?
Yes. Right now we're in a fairly small area.
Yeah. So they're just feeling cramped by that.
Yeah. I get it.
They want to live the crazy life they see in movies and TV and stuff.
I wish it was that simple.
I know, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes the movies don't show you the bad parts of that life.
Right. And
Does that all make sense to you?
It does. I think, yeah, it does. I think it's more communication, and that's probably where I'm lacking because I don't always know how to go about that,
Yes.
I feel like I'm both like super internally tough, or try to be tough, and then I have this like super soft side, but most of the time when I try to speak to my children, I feel like I have to push that tough side because that's what will like get things done, or like help them be a better person.
Yeah, they just need to know they're not being oppressed or repressed.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just that, unfortunately, there are rules we have to follow. And if we just follow those rules, we can do whatever else we want.
Yeah.
And that it won't always be this way. They won't always have to live in this small town. They won't always have to live in the region of the country, or they don't even have to live in this country if they don't want. Yeah. Like, they just get to the point where they become productive adults. They can do anything they want with their lives.
Okay.
Try to think of it like that. They're just looking to get out of the box. They want to spread their wings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, okay. I got you. Thank you again.
To regulate their own challenges as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. Again, I really thank you for...
My pleasure.
Doing what you've done for my daughter.
Thank you so much. It helped. Thank you, honey. Bye-bye. It's hard. I don't have kids. It's easy for me to say it's hard. My child is 14 pounds and covered in fur, but it's still, even with him, there are things he's not allowed to do, and he doesn't like that. So I have to let him know, look, you can do anything in the house you want to do, but there's a couple things you can't do. And, you can't bite mommy's cheek right before she goes on TV. And you can't go onto the 400-year-old chest in the hallway and knock my crystal balls on the tile. These are things that you can't do, but you can pretty much do anything else. And still we struggle. It's everybody struggles with their children, whether they're made of fur or human. I can't even imagine how hard it is to raise a kid that's having a hard time. So we're all with you, and we're sending you some love, Lori. Okay, let's do another message from Spirit. Hi.
Hi, Sheena. My name is Paula, and I'm on the absolute opposite side of the U.S. from you. I am in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Beautiful. I love Wilmington.
It's gorgeous. I moved here from the Gettysburg, Pennsylvania area.
Which is also beautiful.
Yes, I loved it up there.
Yeah.
My question is, I have had so many family and friends pass away. My youngest niece was killed in a car accident, and I was wondering if she may be sorry for what she did to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, she developed some very bad behaviors, sweetheart. And she does feel very bad about that. Yes.
I know she came to me in a dream and apologized.
Yes.
She said, "I'm sorry."
Yes, that was absolutely her. Do you she's talking to me about, was she somehow involved in the car accident? Did it have something to do with something that she was responsible for in some way?
It was her fault.
Okay. Yeah, that's what she's saying. Yeah.
They think that she was reaching for her cell phone, and she was speeding. She lost control, went across the center line, hit another car head on.
Oh.
And her car spun around, caught on fire. She burnt to death. And the passenger in the other car was also killed. But she lied to her dad when my older brother died. And she told him something that wasn't true. And now nobody in the family will talk to me.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. And so is she. Yeah, there was a real destructive nature to her. And she kind of she's saying, spun out of control in her life.
Yeah.
And started doing a lot of nasty stuff and causing a lot of problems.
Yes, definitely.
But she wants you to know that burning to death was not fun. And that she feels like Spirit showed her what it was like to hurt, because she had hurt so many other people. It wasn't just you. When she went on her kind of on a tear, she hurt a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Causing a lot of problems. And she would like very much to find a way to tell the family that you didn't do anything, but she doesn't know how to do that.
I wish she could come to him like she does me.
I know. And she said that nobody will believe you unless they hear it from her, because they kind of martyr her now because she died.
Right.
No one wants to hear that the girl that died caused the problem.
Right.
So she says you just have to live your life and try to be happy and hope that they grow enough to come around to realizing you didn't do anything. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Totally.
And she's so sorry, sweetie. She just wants you to know how sorry she is. She's really just honestly so sorry.
She was like a daughter. I never had kids either. I used to say that I used to rent my brother's kids, and
Yeah.
so she and her brother were, well, all of my nieces and nephews were like my kids,
Yeah.
and now none of them will talk to me.
I'm so sorry. I
It
can't even,
hurt.
I
It
cannot
really,
imagine. But it's exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, right? Words are
yes,
weapons. You
yes,
have to be
exactly.
so careful what you say
Yeah,
because you might never have the chance to walk it back. And she has to live with that forever, that she
right,
can't come and tell people, I screwed up.
right,
And she hates that because some of her biggest talks with Spirit when she first crossed over were about, look, here are the things that you kind of screwed up, and you need to take accountability for your actions and be able to say, this was on me and I did this. So she can admit that to Spirit, but she can't tell humans that because she can't communicate with them.
right.
And like you said, the only person that she's coming to is you, and no one's going to believe you. So
I'm so open to spirit because I've had so many experiences, and I love it. I love it.
you're wonderful, sweetie. I will send you so much love. Tell your family you talked to me today, and that's what she said. Probably won't help, but it's worth a shot.
I will, Sheena. Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you too, sweetheart. You take care.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh, that's hard, man. That's a hard one because the niece is so upset from where she is that she can't convince the family. And meanwhile, Paula has to live here with the family who doesn't believe her. That's hard. It's hard. It's a hard one. Sometimes life is just hard. And this is a case where it's hard. All right, let's do another message from Spirit. Hi.
Hello, I'm Kelsey. I'm calling from Alberta, Canada. I don't know if you get a lot
Beautiful.
of Canadians, but
We get some Canadians, but we
oh,
don't get
good.
enough Canadians, Kelsey. So
Yeah,
I'm
well,
so glad you're here. We always need more Canadians.
thank you. I appreciate that. I found you probably about 2 years ago from Amanda and Mackie,
Sure.
watching their
Buddy.
videos. But it was actually funny right up before this call as I was kind of deciding if I wanted to ask a question today. I kind of like asked Spirit to in the next like half hour, can you, while I was just doing some work on my computer, can you show me a broom? Because I was like, that's just very random and it's probably not something that I would come across while I was like doing work on my computer. And then I was in just searching for an image to put in a document, and I was looking for flowers. And so I just put the search in flowers, and I was going through, and a random broom showed up amongst the flowers. So I was like,
Nice.
okay, I have to do that. But
Now,
yeah,
does
so
that have a spiritual significance for you, brooms?
I don't know. That's the thing. I've never asked, or I've never noticed anything with brooms, but what I've kind of been doing lately is I'm just, when I ask for signs, just whatever kind of pops into my head first.
Okay.
And then kind of just trusting that that was what the sign needed to be. But
Absolutely.
yeah, but it's interesting with the brooms but I guess that's kind of my question in general is about signs a little bit. I feel like I'm in a really interesting part of my path right now in life where I'm having to let go of a lot of old like wounds and relationships, and it makes me emotional to think about, but I'm having to like let go of a lot to get to where I want to be, and it's been really painful, but it's also felt really like just divinely timed where I just do feel like um I'm just being supported in this from spirit, I guess. And I guess, so my question was around something that I had talked to you actually about over or text a few days ago, with a relationship. And it was sort of a new relationship, and we're at a distance and had been talking online for about a month, and then met in person for the first time this past weekend. And ever since then, there's been a really big shift, and we're not speaking. I decided to just kind of stop contact. Um, long story short, since then I've been really like grieving, but also feeling like this calmness in the sense that I know that it was what I was supposed to do, and I oddly sort of have this trust that this person will come back. But I think my concern is that I'm like, am I just kind of like creating this in my head because that's something like that's been a pattern of mine before? But
Sure.
there's been lots of signs, like just really with numbers and different things. And I guess I'm just looking for validation that like those signs, or that I almost feel like I can feel when he's thinking about me, or just think it's just a very weird thing to explain. And I guess I'm just looking for some validation in that, and knowing kind of where things are at with that relationship.
Well, there's obviously a very strong energetic tie, right, between the two of you. And that was very obvious when you were speaking on the phone and speaking through text. And the problem is when you are actually in his presence, it's like, everything got real.
Yeah.
And then the idea of it actually becoming a thing. And a lot of people like the romantic notion of something being a thing, but the actual thingness of something becoming a thing is very terrifying for them. And so it's when you were actually in his face and like a real person that he would have to have a real relationship with, it became very scary, and he needs some time to work through that. But that doesn't mean that all the signs and the symbols and the things that you're receiving aren't real, because those things, Kelsey, are part of the soul connection. And the soul connection is very, very real. It's just he's having trouble finding a place to put the spirituality of the connection into the reality of his life and into the reality of his emotionality, which you're now learning is a little more immature than you thought it was.
Yes, that's true.
He's emotionally younger than you thought he was.
Yeah.
Because we all can present a certain way when we're kind of living in our heads, when we have to be in the real world. Things become harder when we're dealing with people in the real world, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. There was
definitely what happened.
We were worried about that too, kind of knowing going into it that like, it's great when we're talking, but what's it going to be like, when we're actually around each other?
Right.
So I think
Exactly.
our situations are mirroring each other in a lot of ways, even though he's obviously different and in a different part of his path. I don't know. It's just, it's interesting.
But I will tell you, as far as you manifesting signs and symbols, I want to show you something. Hang on. I'm showing you something.
What? Oh my gosh.
These are all over my home. I have at least 2 in every single room for protection because I live on an Indian burial ground. And so I am the queen of brooms.
Oh, that's so funny because like I said, I've been watching you for a long time, but I didn't know that. And it just kind of broom popped in my head. So
I sit here and I look at the handle of this broom. When I look off to the side like this is what I'm looking at, is the handle of this broom that's in the corner that I like to just look at to kind of help me focus my train of thought.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. So
for all of you that are watching, if you want to protect your home, get brooms. It's an ancient thing and it does work. It has worked for me to keep the spirits that live under the ground away. So see, that's to show you to trust yourself and trust your signs and symbols. All right, sweetie, that's why I showed you that.
Okay, thank you so much. That's
Take
really
care,
cool.
Kelsey. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Boy, I pulled the broom out, didn't I? What else can I pull out? I have all kinds of goodies here for us to look at. I also suggest everybody get a selenite heart. My goodness, just holding this, it recharges. I'm putting it on my heart right now. It recharges your own heart. Definitely. Everybody should have a selenite heart. I think every day on the show, I know my producer and engineer Emery is going to be like, yes, yes, yes. That's Scorpio. I think every week on the show, I should show you a couple of things that live in my office that I look at while I'm doing this show. But the selenite heart given to me as a gift in love, the cinnamon brooms that I literally run around to every CVS and Trader Joe's at Halloween time, and I get as many of them as I can get. And my friend puts new ones out every year, so she gives me all her old ones, which I totally love. And then I put them all around my house. So yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, my friends. All right, let's do another message. Oh, first of all, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, like these amazing people today, 818-437-0886. And with that, let's do another message from Spirit. Hi. Oops. Hi. Oops. Hi. I don't have audio for you, sweetie. Will you uncheck the audio so your mic is live? I can't hear you. All right, try going out and coming back in. All right. Sometimes if you go out and come back in, it fixes the audio problem. Let's take somebody else and then we'll take her.
Oh,
Hi.
hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good, good. You?
Good. I'm wonderful. Who are you and where are you
Oh,
coming
yeah.
in?
Sorry. I'm Sheena from Bayport, New York.
Nice to see you. And
Here's
what's your
Sheena.
question for me?
So us as a family, when I say family, I mean me and my mom, who's like sitting next to me, actually. We're going through a lot of stuff, especially with my kids. Going through a lot for two separate reasons for each kid. And they are like draining both of us mentally and emotionally. And I'm getting married next year, and I'm finding it very hard to even be happy about it because of what I'm going through with them.
Yeah.
So I feel like lost, and I don't even know what to do anymore.
Okay, so they're both just at a really difficult place because they weren't always like this, right?
My daughter, no. My son, yeah, he's always been a bully
Okay,
to us.
but he's worse now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really escalated. And I feel like his negativity has almost spread to her. And she's almost become kind of like a mirror of him. Sometimes that'll happen when people live in a family together. One person gets very negative and then everyone gets negative. It's like a negativity sort of settles over an area, right?
Well, he hasn't actually even lived with me for the past almost year and a half.
Right.
And she has mental issues and addiction issues, and she's in a rehab facility right now, and she's doing really well, and she's doing great and everything. And you know, I'm very proud of her. My son, I text every day. He ignores me, wants nothing to do with me. You know, but I don't know. We tried. We tried to do what, you know.
No, you did great. And like I said, with the negativity, it's spreading over everybody, including you. Someone doesn't have to live in a house with you for you to be able to feel it. You just need to be spiritually connected to them, right? And you're spiritually connected to your kids.
I'm trying.
He just sort of needs to, Spirit is saying, sweetie, he just needs to figure it out on his own. He needs to go out on his own, see what it's like, see what his misery is like, and at some point hit rock bottom and realize he's not in a good place. You need to focus right now on her, because with her there's still a little bit of saving that can be done.
Yeah, I try. I mean, I go to multi-family therapy every Tuesday, every Wednesday. I go to family support groups. You know, me and my mom, like I said, we try to support her as much as I can. My fiance, when he's not at band practice, he comes to the family support groups, you know, like we're all trying to really support her, but I feel like I'm putting a lot of effort into saving her, and he's just getting farther and farther away from me.
I know. But right now you've got to save her because you don't want to lose both of them. I know that's so hard, sweetie, to have to make a choice. But sometimes you have to put your effort into somebody who is willing to be healed. Now, is she always going to have addiction issues? Well, she's always going to have to keep an eye on it. She's doing great now. And she's always going to have mental health issues that she's always going to have to keep an eye on and regulate. But it can be done, and she can get better, and she can be okay. His problems are almost more like soul problems. Like he brought those problems into this world with him. So he has to make a conscious effort to decide that he doesn't want that and kick those problems out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He has to say no to the negativity side of him.
Yeah, I feel like his father really influences him
Sure.
a lot on the situation. Like he'll even come to me and be like, I'm not actually your kid, because he's biracial, beautiful complexion, beautiful boy. But he'll tell me, well, I look more like them. I don't look like you.
Okay. Well, that's just to hurt you. I mean, he'll say anything to mess with you.
Yeah.
If it was his father begging for his attention, he would say he was more like you. He's just trying to do whatever he can to hurt you. And I think he just needs to be cut loose, and he needs to find his way back. Now, that doesn't mean you have to ignore him or have nothing else to do with him, but you need to sort of give him the freedom to fall and skin his knees on his own.
Yeah.
So that he realizes he doesn't want to live that life, and he comes around.
Yeah.
Because the more you try to take care of him, the more you try to convince him to be a good person, the more he's going to do the opposite out of spite.
You know, I asked him to come to my engagement party next month, and I asked him to walk me down the aisle next year. You know, both my kids to walk me down the aisle. And it's funny because my daughter was like, well, I don't know. That's a lot of people looking at me. Whereas my son was like, yup, I'll be there. You know, so it's like I see, like, I get like two sides of him. Like, he wants nothing to do with me, but he'll come to the party and he'll walk me down the aisle. You know, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's good. Then relish the good when it happens, ignore the bad. And what you're doing is you're training him to make the decision to lean towards good.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to do that. I mean, it's like, sometimes it's like, you know, paper training a puppy with people. Sometimes people need to be trained.
Yeah.
And, we hope that's not the case, but sometimes that's the case.
I think it bothers me, but it bothers me more the way he talks to my mom and treats my mom than me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Sure.
Say hi. Oh, hello.
Hi, sweetheart.
You know, because we lived together. We did live all together. You know, she's 72 years old with 2 jobs, and he's like telling her F you, and who are you, and I don't have to listen, you know, like and it bothers me more that he's like that with her, you know, than the things that he says to me.
I agree 100%. Yeah. But sometimes he's nasty just to get a rise, just to get attention.
Yeah.
It's like he gets attention by being the bad person. So don't give it to him. Give him attention when he's good. When he's bad, he gets nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And watch how you're training him to if he wants the attention, he's got to do the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
I hope so, because I want to be happy at these parties and wedding and everything else.
No.
And I want my mom to find a man.
All right. We're
So we're gonna send her one her way.
Okay. So she can only have one job after that.
That's fine. She needs a boyfriend.
All right. Sounds good. Take care, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Sending you both love.
Thank you.
We're going to get mom a boyfriend next. All right. Good. Everybody gets what they want, and mom gets a boyfriend. It's awesome. Yeah, it's hard sometimes that people have to be trained, but some people just don't behave on their own. It's just life. All right. If you want to be a guest on the show, 818-437-0886. That's 818-437-0886. And I think we've got one more. Let's do another message from Spirit. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I can hear you. How are you?
Good. Pleasure. I have to give a shout out to Mackie and Amanda. Without them, I wouldn't have found you.
My buddies.
So love to them. And
Yeah.
if I could just say real quick, Mackie, I have the same Haunted Life magazine, and I always have it near. She always had it in her backpack on her quest of ghost hunting.
Oh, there's a Haunted Life magazine?
Yes.
Oh,
And
I did not know that.
My first marriage was at I stayed at the Stanley Hotel. I was there 4 nights and 5 days.
Wow.
And so I know that they've enjoyed coming to Colorado, and they came with Sam and Colby. Love them too.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I'm a survivor, paranormal survivor like you. And
yes, I am.
You mentioned Native American. I have the conflicting blood within me of Navajo and Zuni.
Oh.
And then I have my lovely mom, in loving memory of Irish and Scottish.
Nice.
And so I have to now live unapologetically and on purpose, because with all the dynamics of my upbringing and lack of, I have to say that I think I've been targeted in one way or another that is not in my best interest. So I've dealt with a lot of loss and a lot of heartbreak.
I was going to say both by humans and by spirits.
Yeah, a lot of loss, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of misguiding.
Yeah.
And I've used my instincts to protect myself. And my question is, I've always felt like a special, I don't know how to explain it, protection. And I've even felt like during the pandemic, when the doctor's like, you got to go to the hospital, and I'm a single parent, I'm like, nope, I'm going home. And they gave me strong medicine. They said, well, if you hadn't come in, you would have died, because I am asthmatic. I feel like there was something very special, beings around me. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it was ancestors or something from beyond here.
It's everything, right? Spirit guides, angelics, the spirit, the force of spirit in general, universe, everything.
And you mentioned that stone. My son helped me with jewelry making. I made this.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It has some of the stones you mentioned, and I have a angel chime from Czech Republic.
Beautiful.
I forget.
Is it a magnet stone?
It's Moldavite.
Oh,
it's an angel chime, and
Moldavite is the stone of the comet.
Yes, and I do feel a little giddy, almost like lemon tart cheek happy. And I could tell when I don't wear it or when I wear it, and I generally wear it. And I mean, I had a lot of beautiful jewelry, but I chopped most of it up just to make more jewelry. And then, do I get around it?
You got to do what you got to do.
But I really admire you, and you're very strong in your beliefs and how you communicate, and I can relate to a good number of it, and I find strength in your story.
Thank you, my friend. And I am honored by your words. And please know that yes, you have all different kinds of your spirit family looking out for you to help guide you through challenges here with the human and also the non-embodied entities.
I feel it.
You're an empath and you're gifted, so you're always going to have to keep your eye out for both positive and negative things coming your way. But I believe that the time has come that you've sorted through a lot of those questions, and you're ready now to move forward into a happier and more connected phase of your earth life.
Yes. I'm hoping for more borrowed time, because I've nearly been gone at least a few times.
You're going to get some more borrowed time. It feels really good, sweetie. I appreciate you being here, and I thank you for the beautiful words.
Thank you.
Take care, sweetheart. Lovely to have you. What a lovely story. What a lovely story, and what a lovely way to end the show. If you'd like to be a guest on the show like these lovely people, send me a text message, 818-437 0886. And if you're outside of the US, you can message me on WhatsApp. My country code is 1. So it's 1-818-437-0886. Also, please visit my website and get to know me better, SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. And I'm everywhere on social media at Sheena Metal. Thanks to PARAPOD TV and its owner and operator, my dear friend Tony Sweet, for making us part of your television family, and also to my engineer and producer, Emery. You are the wind beneath my wings, and what would I do without you? Until I see you next Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time, seek peace, live in love, lead with kindness, embrace unity, always work to raise your vibration, and know that you are love and you are loved, and you're so loved by me. I'm Sheena Metal. This is Messages from Spirit, only on PARAPOD TV. Stay beautiful, stay connected to you, and I will see you next week. Namaste.
Mm-hmm.